Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, this week is a short week. The 24th, which is Wednesday, is Christmas Eve. The market closes at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 25th is Christmas. The market is closed. And Friday is a full trading day. I went on NASDAQ and I double checked the holidays, and for some reason I thought Friday was going to be a half a day too, but no, only Christmas Eve is a half a day, 1 p.m. on Christmas Eve, closed Christmas Day, and a full day on Friday. So that's what we can expect. Now the economic calendar for the week, 22nd, we have nothing. Tuesday, we have preliminary GDP. I mean, that could be something. Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve, we have unemployment claims at 8:30, so that could be something. Christmas Day, obviously, no news. And Friday, no news. So, yeah. I mean, usually these short weeks, not much happens. But lately, anytime we have a short week, we've been seeing action. And I remember one year we were drifting down you get a center rally almost every before Christmas, like into November and December, you usually get a center rally. But one year we didn't. It was just a dump all the way until Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve, the market ripped hard. I remember that vividly. So we could see some shenanigans this week with that. So just be aware that something could happen just because the big boys could be gone. Some players will take advantage of that and mess with the market. Now, the market, it gapped up a little bit. Nothing too much on futures. But we get over 682. 681.50. 681 has been the area to watch on the hourly, because it gets over this 681.50. It changes the structure. And we could end up shooting to all-time high. So, I mean, this is Christmas week. The market could have a strong week. We could end up being 690. So we'll have to see if that actually happens. But we'll keep an open mind and watch it below 682. So I usually like to see what happens overnight in the futures market and pre-market, and I go based off from that. So it's not too... Don't want to predict too far in the future, because it's really hard to predict what the market's going to do. The market's been so tricky lately. So yeah, we do have some gaps to fill for Friday right down here. So it's quite possible we could dump tomorrow, fill the gap, then just rock it to 690, or we just shoot to 690, or we just drop. I don't know. We're not quite sure. No one knows where it's going to go. So we're just going to, I think that we get over the 681, 681.50, 682 area. I think we're going to shoot the all-time high. I mean, that's what would make sense. But the market does anything but make sense. VIX, on the other hand, VIX is right at 1491. Why does this say 1501 and this say 1491? Well, we'll go by the daily. So VIX definitely has room to 14. It can get squashed all the way to 14. So it's very possible that we could end up seeing that. Or if we do manage to close the gap from Friday, VIX could pop up to 16 or something, then grind down to 14 for the rest of the week. So tomorrow will be pretty important, I think, as far as the VIX. If that does end up popping a little bit, then dropping, or do we just go straight down? Now, if market goes straight up to 690 and VIX gets to 14, I think I'd stop you watching for a pullback. I can't imagine we'd have a pullback on Christmas Eve. That'd be pretty anti-American in the market, but anything can happen. So we'll just like I said, just go based on pre-market. Now there's a couple things I'm looking at that could be some pretty good movers. If Microsoft gets over 492, we're going to have probably a strong move on the daily on that. So definitely keep an eye on Microsoft over 492. Shoot to 500, 510, 520, 530 very, very easily. Microsoft could take off. Any AI news or anything could definitely get that moving. Now, Netflix, on the other hand, I'm thinking the same thing. We're going to have a reversal at some point. We're pretty oversold on the daily. We're below 30 RSI on the daily. And so I would watch it over 90, well, we'll say 96. Push to 98 and 100 basically every $2, because now that Netflix has had a reverse split, it doesn't move $40 in a day on a really good day. So it barely moves. I mean, what's the average range? This is a pretty good range right here. This is $5 range, $6 range right here, and that looks pretty massive. That was probably a $60 range before reverse split. So yeah, we could the range is not really there, a few dollars. So besides Netflix, Roku is another one. I'm actually surprised that Roku is up as much as it is. It does not like being up here. It gets rejected once it gets up here. So I'll be watching Roku underneath 106. Push down to 100, down to the 90 area. Roku just, to me, just can't get out of its own way. So Tesla's going to be tricky, because I'd be watching this in both directions. It gets over 490. We'll say 490. It's probably going to shoot to all-time high of 495. And we get to 495, we could shoot to 500, 505 really, really fast. We could have a short squeeze. We could have a nice little extended move right here over 500. I don't think it's going to stop right at 500. I think we're going to overshoot 500, because 495 is pretty close. And we break that, I think we're going to go to 501, 502, maybe even 503. We'll overshoot the 500 mark. Now, for some reason, if we don't break, pop, we get a bit of a head and shoulders on the hourly, the left, the head, and the right shoulder. We get underneath 475. We could shoot down to 460, and we get underneath that, close that gap. And we can get down to 440, 450, 440 pretty easily on that. So we have a bit of a bearish divergence going on in the daily and the weekly. As you can see, high here, high, and histogram is going down, RSI is going down. So I think that we could definitely see a drop too, but don't underestimate Tesla. I mean, to me, Tesla just seems overvalued. There's so many electric cars right now, and I'm surprised it's actually up this high. So the market just does not make sense whatsoever. So you'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out and make sense of this. So just try not to look at too many things and try to make sense of it, because you'll drive yourself crazy. Just trade what's there and go based off from that. So that's going to do it. And thanks for watching.